When you hear the sound of the bell, you know you are in the championship rounds, and you hear with your guy, the one and only King Amin of Essex. And if you know me, music, boxing, there's an intersection. Rest in peace to Big Pun. He said it when he introduced Remy Ma to the world. I'm not quite introducing my sister, but I'm trying to continue to introduce her and allow y'all to embrace her. Sometimes you got to sit, especially this weekend, you got to send a woman to do a man's job. It's a lot of fights that are not getting made. It's a lot of things that are not happening. But right now I got my sister Micah K joining me to help me to break down a historic weekend of action, plus just boxing in general. So sis, tell the good people where they can find you.
Absolutely. You already know what it is. What up, though? Where all my slayers and slayettes at? All right. So you can find me at Afternoon Sports Slay. That's on YouTube. Once again, Afternoon Sports Slay. And you can also find me on Twitter at MK Sports Slay. And you can find me on Instagram at MK Sports Slay. Help me get that exposure, that visibility. Help me, my social media game, I need help with it. So I'm just trying to improve and progress. And one thing I want to, key in on that you said too, especially with the women, to me, this is history. This is legacy. All right. This is major. This is for one day kids and young ladies, young women going to be able to see this and like, oh my goodness, I witnessed history on that day. All right.
Perfect point. And before we get into all that history, I want to bring up some, I guess these guys are trying to make history themselves, two young bulls, as it will, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Tank Davis. We know who they are in terms of notability. Both these guys, as far as being mentioned, future, this and that. Now, Ryan, this news to me, not that the speculation or the desire hasn't always been there, but Ryan Garcia's dad recently came out and talked about this fight is very close and it's almost done. A done deal is even some of the words they're using. You like this fight?
Absolutely. I think it definitely draws excitement. We get to see somebody, both of them are, young. Ryan Garcia is more of his, earlier 20s. Tank is getting towards, that middle, late 20s, but still in their 20s, young, exciting. We know what Ryan Garcia has, the hand speed, has the quickness, those excellent, combinations. And then to me, that's one of my faves. All the slayers and slayettes, people that's really tapped in with the queen know that Tank Davis is one of my favorites. So I definitely want the fight because like I said, in boxing, sometimes it's a lot of ifs. We always debating what if this person fight? What if this? Well, Ryan Garcia saying he want the smoke. So we gonna see what he do. I believe, I feel like Tank gonna get the job done. And I went on my Twitter a couple weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, and I told everybody I believe Tank is that number one guy. If I'm wrong, when the time comes, I definitely, put on my big girl grandma panties on, let everybody know I was wrong. That's a if, because I believe what people don't understand about Tank, he's not just a power puncher. He can actually box. You have not seen the best, I believe, of Focus and Scary. Tank is one of the scariest out because of the power, the athleticism, and the timing he possesses. The timing, everything he has, all those attributes.
Well, it definitely is an exciting fight, even for those that are pessimistic. And we talked about a little bit before, a lot of times we have to use if. So the potential of this fight happening, we want it to be more solid than not. But if it does happen, this does a lot for boxing. At this point in both their careers, I think a loss wouldn't affect, even though social media very cruel, and these guys are from an era where they don't know how to bounce back. The resiliency doesn't seem to be, a prideful point no more. I still think either of them will have a lot left in the tank, no pun intended, should either of them lose that fight. Talk about fighters, though, and we want to switch it to the women's side of things, a fighter still having something left in the tank. We talking about Heather Hardy, Heather the Heat Hardy out of Brooklyn, New York. She's one of the pioneers of the early aughts women's boxing. I will say that about her. Having to dabble in MMA and then in boxing, made her bones on the New York scene, trained out of Gleason's gym. A lot of things, and it definitely a name to put on a lot of people's resume. What do you know about Heather Hardy? What do you think about her still fighting on? at this point in her career, just and maybe, I don't in the shadows of what's going on this weekend. What did you think about that article in Heather Hardy and where she's at?
I really enjoyed the article, especially being a woman and just in sports in general. We know once you get into those 30s and really like I would say really earlier than that in some sports, but after like that 35, I want to say like 32 or 33, they start saying you getting past your prime. Are you going to be able to continue? Will you look the same? We know most athletes have a decline. What I do like about the article that I read on her is it's letting me know, and it's letting her fans in the world, the boxing community know, I'm not going to give up. I have determination. It's not sitting, well in my spirit that my last two fights I lost. So I want to try to at least retire on that high note. So I think as a woman that really, especially other women, who might read the article or inspired by it, just to let other women know it's never too late, and don't give up, especially being her age. I mean, she says she's 40, right?
Yeah, 40.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of them ages. So she kind of is at a crossroads. So I hope she, be able to get the victory and be able to at least retire on a high note.
And that's the real, you hit the nail on the head when you say the high note. And there's a modicum of victory for her having the opportunity, because she's fighting tonight, and it's almost like an obscure card, but again, in the shadows of, honestly, I can say what she helped to build as far as a marketable New York fight. I mean, ask Amanda Serrano, any female fighters coming out of the New York area, and fighters, you needed Heather Hardy on your resume to build your way up. Even a fighter like Holly Holm, I think she's got 2 bouts with Heather Hardy. I think with Jessica Camara, who me and a shout out to Mr. Bodywork Boxing, we did her on Women's Boxing Wednesday out of Canada. That was Camara's notable win over Heather Hardy. And we need the likes of the Heather Hardys and the Beck Connollys and the Gemma Rueggs. The Gemma Ruegg is fighting this weekend. Beck Connolly, I think, is fighting this weekend. These female fighters that are of a certain age, and you look at their record and you may wave them off. You may say, damn, shorty, 11 and 14. And how does that work out? Because she's an active fighter, and even a fighter like Heather Hardy, I think she's only got 4 or 5 losses only. A very active fighter against whoever was trying to make their bones at the time. So definitely salute to her. I just wish, just like the early pioneers, I talked about the crossroads of music and hip hop, the pioneers don't get paid right.
The ones that laid out the groundwork. It was a situation. I'm not gonna bring that up right now, but even in music, where LL Cool J addressed something and was letting that young man know, listen, you gotta respect the pioneers, the people that came before you, who put in the blood, sweat, and tears. They didn't reap the benefits, but the next generation reaped it. So you got to make sure, just have that respect for the OGs in the game. And I wanted to say something too, especially on your platform. I wanted to tell everybody to make sure they subscribe to your channel, because King Amin is really doing this, and I am so impressed that women's boxing the way you do. I can honestly say I have not met men, and even certain women. Really, I don't even know a lot of people. That's why it's a blessing that I was able to connect with you guys, because I don't know as many people that even watch boxing. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm a very honest person. I just started. I'm trying to get better with the women's boxing so I can gain that knowledge, so people can see, just be very versatile. But for you to know women's boxing the way you do, that's excellent. They need to, you got to get tapped in somewhere, somebody, for sure, because the way you know it is, I'm impressed.
Listen, man, I appreciate that, because
Yeah.
listen, it's a few things that people gonna do, but they not gonna out talk me, they not gonna outwork me. It ain't happening. And speaking of the work and pioneers, because maybe I'm gonna be a pioneer for women's boxing, and maybe a card like this weekend is going to continue what the Heather Hardys and the Christy Martins, even before her, have built. So now we got Savannah Marshall and Claressa Shields. Let's talk about the main event. Let's talk about the co-main event. Let's start with Marshall Shields. What are you thinking? Who you got?
Excuse me. So I'm going with my girl, the GOAT, Claressa Shields. I dropped the video. Let me plug that real quick. I did that a few weeks ago when I thought the fight before the fight got canceled to the new date. So make sure you guys go check that out. That's on Afternoon Sports Slay. I have the prediction video for Shields versus Marshall, and also Baumgardner versus Mikaela Mayer. So I got the GOAT for sure. I just feel like she has just an excellent boxing skill set and technique. I know with Marshall, she possesses power. I know Claressa has to make sure she stays active, apply strategic, calculated aggression throughout that whole fight. You don't leave it in the judge's hands. You make sure you get the job done because you're going to be in another country. But I definitely had a GOAT coming out, dominating that fight.
And I really have little question about that outcome of that bout. This co-main event, though, which could steal the show, is what I have question about. You and I have degrees of separation from this fight. It was one fateful day. We had the chance to interview Alycia Baumgardner, and then you had a chance to evolve, and you got a chance to be, to watch her.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I gotta ask you this. What have you seen some things? Because a lot of people wants to put AB, the new problem, in a position where she's just athletic or she's just going to be looking for power. Boxing wise, have you seen some things that made you or made me be able to tell people out there that she's more than just an athlete boxing, that she's picked up and added some things in her toolbox?
Well, the one thing what I'm actually trying to do, let me see if I can pull. I know we give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull up this tweet that I actually spoke about when I talked about Terry Harper.
Mm-hmm.
And what I noticed, let's see if it pull up. So I said Terry Harper has a very nice skill set and feel in the ring. This tells you that Alycia Baumgardner doesn't just have power in her hands, but she's highly skilled and technically sound too. So the certain things that I've been watching, seeing her in person, I didn't get a chance to witness as much as I would like. Okay, so let me just say that as far as person, because I tell people all the time, by me covering sports, I've gotten a chance to cover the Pistons professionally. It's a difference by going in there live, watching it live, than watching it on TV. Totally different thing to me, in my opinion. But going based on the eye test, I definitely feel like she has more versatility than what people do. She has excellent foot. We know she got power in her hands. Okay, both. Not just one, both. That's what I feel. Excellent footwork. She can utilize versatility of her power punches. So it's certain things that I notice, and that's why I would encourage everybody to really look at my breakdown as far as with this fight, because I noticed certain things where I feel like Alycia, she must utilize the jab. We know that Mayer has the height and reach advantage.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't give credit to with her quickness in her hands. So that if she consistently jabs, set up that jab well, plus her power, it could be it could I believe she's gonna win. Now I'm not, even though I'm rooting for Alycia, I'm still balanced. Mikaela Mayer, she can box. You know this. A lot of people, they're leaning towards Mikaela because they feel like, just like you saying, she's more of the pure boxer. She's more of the pure boxer. But from what I've seen, some people can take my word on it or not, Alycia holds more. She's not just a power puncher. She has excellent skill as well. And I believe you guys are going to fight, because we haven't seen and I'm going to be honest too, I didn't get a chance to watch as many Alycia Baumgardner fights.
None of us have.
Right. And I told her that when I did the interview, I said, Alycia, I'm going to be honest with you. I have not seen as many fights. So I'm catching up, trying to see certain things in different fights that she has fought. But going based on the Queen's eye test, she has enough, and she has a excellent skill set to get the job done. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna pull this up I want to
Sure.
pull up my notes real
And
quick.
while you do
Sorry
that,
about that.
you hit on two important things is the Terry Harper fight, especially in light what Terry Harper's gone on to do. And I happen to have it on good advice. You know, some people would believe that the win over Terry Harper was because she was significantly weight drained. Now, whether you believe that or not, I wouldn't dispute that. But if you look at what she's gone on to do, then you know that Baumgardner definitely outboxed the boxer that night and showed power. So there's two things that happen. The other side of that is, I think that Mikaela Mayer, if she's not able to get off the jab and Baumgardner is able to use that quickness to avoid the clinches and avoid those lulls in the fight, because it being 2 rounds, if she's in any point in the fight trying to follow Mayer around to land a punch, she could lose a valuable time where she have to make an impression on the judges. That's the one thing about the women's fight game, that 2 minutes, you need to spend a lot of time making an impression on the judges. And that activity, Mayer's going to try to steal those rounds, and that could be very tricky. So I have to see the outcome of that fight. And I'm leaning where I'm leaning because I lean where I lean.
This fight is about to be so okay. Let me explain it to my slayers and slayeds. This how emotionally invested I am in this fight. Like most people, you see, I got the Lakers. People don't know, even though that's not some people's favorite. I'm like the hugest LeBron fan. Okay, I'm like, when he plays phone, if you ain't talking basketball at that time, phone is, don't even talk to me. Like Saturday when Alycia in the fight, I'm telling everybody, if you're not talking boxing, we it's no need for us to talk unless it's an emergency. So I'm gonna be locked in so much on this fight. I am so excited because, like you saying, this fight has so much spice because we truly don't know which way it's gonna go. And by Mikaela, to me, that's one person in the women's boxing I have followed very closely. And I can say this about Mikaela Mayer. Each time I have seen her, I have seen progression in certain ways, whether it's okay now when she's fighting on the outside or she's fighting, her inside game has improved. Certain things she has done, especially when she fought, I don't know how to say the young lady's name. You probably know better than I do. I think it's
Hamadouche.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was impressed with certain things that Mikaela Mayer showed during that fight. But once again, what I wanted to say about Alycia too, a lot of people say, yeah, it was the power, but what people don't understand, even with you having power, you have to have the IQ to be equipped with the power. You have to know when to unleash the power, where to unleash it, to pick your spots. It's about timing, it's about accuracy, it's about anticipation. So it's a lot of layers to that. So when you put all of that into perspective, it shows you that Alycia has enough in the tank to definitely get the victory over Mikaela. But one thing I'm going to be paying attention to too is stamina. Once if Mikaela Mayer, even though I know those 2-minute rounds, getting into those deep waters and seeing who's going to make those necessary adjustments, quickly.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I've seen, number one, we've all seen Mayer go 10 rounds more often, but we've also seen her not look as fresh in its 2-minute rounds. In the last 10-round fight, people may have gotten bored with not seeing Baumgardner get the stoppage, but number one, that's a lot of pressure to assume. Again, we put that she's a power puncher on her because she's so athletically gifted, right? But she looked bored and she didn't look winded. She didn't look tired. She just looked bored. You know what I'm saying? And that's a compliment. Meaning that the level of competition maybe wasn't there, but she didn't look fatigued. And that's usually a knock on fighters that people presume got too much muscle, if you will. They say, oh, what's the risk of getting tired? So I think she kind of trumps those myths. I think she'll have the tank to go to 10 rounds. That way, it won't be her issue. And I think should Mikaela Mayer want to get into the clinch after that handshake, she ain't going to want to clinch. You know what I'm talking about? So,
Exactly. And one thing I can say, I'm definitely looking to see I'm very big on utilizing your jab. Definitely, if you know how to use your jab properly, utilize that to set up your shots. And I really want to see Alycia break Mikaela Mayer down. Go to those body shots, really break her down, punish her. Make sure to stay active each and every round. Also with Alycia Baumgardner, just like I said with Claressa, I'm real big on, just like how you said about the judges in those 2-minute rounds. I'm real big on, because the judges with their eyes, a lot of times at that end, about that 30 seconds, you can always tell sometimes when they judging too. They go, us as human beings, that we almost go off based off the last thing we see. So them last, that's why I'm saying that strategic game plan, making sure Alycia is doing certain things, staying active each and every round. You do not want to leave it in the judge's hands at all, dealing with this situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, speaking of to not leaving anything in the judge's hands, the rest of the weekend, we're going to bring the boys back into it. Do you think Wilder leaves this one in the judge's chances as he faces off against Robert Helenius in Brooklyn this weekend in that main event?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's statement win. I'm thinking a knockout between those middle to late rounds. People forget this man, this man has what, 41 knockouts?
Yeah.
41.
Yeah.
Still, I know, once again, I'm honest, one of my faves has always been. I know people have difference of opinion, as far as certain things. We know it's been spicy dealing with certain things, but power, three things that stand out to me with Deontay Wilder: power, timing, and athleticism. I still believe, yes, he's a power puncher. He relies mostly on his power, but that once again does not mean you are highly skilled. In order to take that many people out, you got to be doing something right.
Yeah, great point, because the power and power just don't come from having long arms or big fists or nothing like that. And for him to be able to gamble and set up shots and not be a huge dude and be throwing glancing shots that just be erasing dudes, right?
Yes.
He's easily, and no disrespect to Usyk, but easily what he's done as a heavyweight has been more dominant than most fighters have done, which is the reason why he gets that recognition.
Mhm.
Helenius is a warrior in his own right, but this ain't that. He ain't this kind of ready, and I don't see anything that allows him to withstand that kind of power. Like Tyson Fury, the only one, for all my Game of Thrones fans. Tyson Fury is Sam. He the only one survived the White Walk. He got Valerian steel in his chin, and the rest of these motherfuckers is getting ate up by the Night King.
That's what I said. It was, to me, the only one, because we got some people, social media is crazy. That's another reason why I don't care for it as much. I'm gonna be honest. We got these people with these opinions. Oh, Wilder's not going to be able to touch up Usyk, and I just see certain little things, and I'm just like, no, you can't really think that. You can't really think. And I know that Usyk, excellent, his footwork, his move, certain things that they're saying. But sometimes I think people, especially sports fans in general, have short-term memory. They forget. They get so upset once a person loses. I've never been like that. If you my favorite, even if you lose, it's okay. That means that's good for a good comeback.
Sure.
So with Wilder, I feel like since he lost to Fury, they act like he didn't lost everything. No, this fight, like you said with Helenius, I don't think Helenius ain't never seen. You ain't gonna, once you feel that type of power and you see, then he gonna really understand why he is, the bronze bomber.
And not only that, since we brought up Usyk, I don't know that Usyk chin can hold up to Wilder's power. So all the boxing, he'd have to be like quick like the wind out that motherfucker to be avoiding that punch. You know what I'm saying? And he'd have to put on a master class, because even through the guard, Wilder might drop something on him that could knock him off his feet. So, and it's just for a comparable opponent. Let's look at a career cruiserweight like Steve Cunningham that has fought at heavyweight, and Wilder against Cunningham. Yes, Cunningham had the ability to box, but the power's the power. So if that fight ever happens, not looking past Helenius, I like Wilder's chances against Usyk because I don't think Usyk's chin can hold up. Like I said, it's only one dude who chin held up, and that's because he built like a fucking grizzly bear. You dig?
I never seen nobody like, as all my years watching, and even when I was younger, when my dad used to watch it, I've never seen somebody like Fury at his size and weight move the way he moves. I feel like Wilder basically gets the job done with everybody else. It was just that one, you know, Fury was, no joke.
That's it. Is his arch nemesis. Now, speaking of guys, they talking like they nemesis, and I didn't even know that they had the smoke like that. But we're gonna swing it out to Michigan, talking about Flintstone, Anthony Dog Dirrell, right?
Yes.
He's in there against Caleb Plant. Do you like this fight, and who you got?
I definitely like this fight. I think this is gonna be a good one too. I'm gonna be honest. Just even when I was looking at doing my little research and looking at the film, I'm like, now I'm gonna go with the Michigan ties. I'm gonna go with Dirrell. Okay, I'm pulling for my guy from Flint, but I like Plant too. I really, to be honest with you, even though I'm rooting for Anthony Dirrell, I could definitely see Plant pulling this one out. What I love about Anthony Dirrell, excellent boxing skill set. Also a person that has good quickness, in his hands. Combinations is there just off the top of my head. Love his combination game. Caleb Plant, what we're gonna see is what has he learned, or if he's learned anything since since he fought Canelo. I love Caleb Plant's defense. Once again, let the record show the queen called it. I remember I was on the Boxing Voice. They was going in on me. I told everybody that Canelo was going to get, Plant out at a certain time. So I was about a round off. But yeah, I like certain things from Plant. He still really impressed me going up against Canelo. So we're going to see with both of them, with their experience, who's going to, really, pull it out. What you think with that one?
Talking about this one a lot. I think Anthony Dirrell is more skilled than people want to give him credit for.
Yes.
Because he's been around for so long, and they're just writing it off as him being a veteran, but he does possess skills. The whole stoppage thing, I don't think either one of these guys are stopping the other guy, but I do think Dirrell is going to make this fight rough. And if he gets in Caleb Plant's head, and this is one thing, two things, I'm just being real. I got nothing against Caleb Plant. But something in my mind, I feel like he's comfortable. I don't feel like the same Plant that had something to lose when he was in there against Canelo, right? And he's slapping, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see that same Plant. I could be wrong. And guess what? I would love to be wrong. But I got a feeling that this fight means more to Dirrell, because for him, he could get that rematch with Benavidez. And if he gets Benavidez and everybody else, including Canelo, is afraid of Benavidez, then I'm the guy that want the guy that Canelo afraid of. Because I'm not sure if Caleb Plant wants the Benavidez fight. So I'm actually pulling for Dirrell, because number one, I know he a dog. He from Flint, Detroit, Newark, Baltimore. It's the same type of city. I got to go with them places like that. And with the outcome, like I said, I would like to see Dirrell and Benavidez, because I feel like Dirrell playing with house money, and he want this fight, he want that fight, and he want whoever else. Whereas I don't know, Caleb Plant, I'm not judging him, but he got a lot of money from that Canelo fight. He might be sleeping on silk sheets, living real good,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, let's see. That has the makings of being a really good one too.
And I don't want to project that on him. I'm sorry. I don't want to put that on him, but I just feel sometimes,
Yeah, I'm not. That's why that fight, I'm very kind of, even though I'm leaning towards Dirrell, and you, in some ways, I definitely see your perspective. I'm almost trying to see. Yeah, we gonna find out really who really still had that juice left, who really is the one who really wanted. That's what I think we're gonna find out about that fight.
Yeah, well, this is a fight I don't think nobody wanted. This is the rematch between Devin Haney and Kambosos. I'm just being real. I don't really want this,
I didn't have to we on the same page. Definitely didn't have to see this again, but I know it was a rematch clause. So I do believe though Kambosos, we gonna see, we know he gonna switch up his game plan. Um, I think he's gonna come out even more aggressive, try to be as active, try to really touch Haney up. But the way that first fight went, it's like, oh my goodness, the way Haney was able to utilize the jab all night and keep him off of him. It's almost like us as fans, like, do we really need to, see that again?
You know how I described this fight? I said it's like, because I'm an R&B guy. I love music. You know what I mean? I could.
Okay, yes,
right
I love R&B too. Yeah.
now. Devin Haney's a balladeer. Like Jaheim was one of the last balladeers. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna sing you a slow song. He's not gonna give you a pop song, beats per minute. That's not his groove, right? Devin Haney's gonna sing a slow song. He gonna jab and he gonna buy. And you have to wanna listen to the melody and listen to the lyrics. It's not an upbeat song that you could dance to. It's not like Tank. Tank got a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Nah, Devin Haney is going to sing a ballad to you, and you have to want to be serenaded. I don't think he changes anything, and I don't think he should. I don't think he should risk anything. Meanwhile, Kambosos, another guy who could be, comfortable in his position. Number one, comfortable being the underdog again, because then he's got nothing to lose. And if he loses, he's still the guy that beat Loma.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I could definitely do without this fight, but not looking past any fighter that's got the nerve to put it on the line. I do want to see what's next for Devin Haney. You got any quick ideas about what he could do if and when should he come victorious out of this fight?
135 is stacked now. A lot of options. Now we about to see once he beats, I believe he beats Kambosos again. Okay, we can get Tank and Ryan out the way, hopefully, by the end of the year. Started, 2023. A lot of things can happen. He can fight Eastside Cruz. A lot of people, I know some people don't, say, oh, this and that. I believe Cruz is nice, dangerous. We got Shakur, we got Tank. Who else we got? Up and coming, Keyshawn Davis. A lot of things. I don't know who.
Frank Martin out of Earl Spence camp.
Frank Martin. It's so many people. I forgot I did a video on Frank too. So we gonna see. It's gonna get spicy. But the key with all of this is, are they going to actually fight? Because like you said earlier, a lot of times now, especially like with the younger generation, it's almost like straight just, sometimes it seems like it's more talking than action. And I understand it's not just them, it's the politics, it's the business of boxing too. So it's a lot of things, moving parts. But like you said too, your mental state can we gonna see too with the young fighters. Can they handle a loss in the social media era like this? Are they even willing to put it on the line so we can see the best fight the best? So we gonna see. We gonna see certain things in the next year or so. What questions gonna be answered? Because I definitely, I get into heavy debates. People don't like Tank. There's certain people. He got a lot of love, but he got the haters.
Sure.
So I want him to. I definitely want the big fights.
And when these big fights happen, that's how we're going to get all the answers. I think today you helped us and helped the people to get a lot of answers. Number one, about this women's fight game. I think you and we added a lot of intrigue to that Dirrell Plant and that Baumgardner Mayer. So you got these undercards. You got great main events this weekend. One more time, tell the people where they can find you.
Absolutely. So you can find me, excuse me guys, I had little allergies. You can find me at on YouTube at Afternoon Sports Slay. I'm going to be dropping my prediction video for Wilder, Helenius, and Dirrell and Plant by Friday, hopefully before I go to work. Who else? And Haney Kambosos. So all three of those are going to be on the video I'm going to drop by tomorrow. You can find me also on Instagram at MK Sports Slay, and Twitter. I do utilize Twitter at least throughout the week more consistently. So that's at MK Sports Slay. And once again, I appreciate you, King, for sure. We got to do this again, but we got to do it longer. We're going to have, when you get your platform to where we can do it, so we can really get into the juice and have a few more people, get it going, cooking.
Hey, listen, I'm so glad to have you. Having you on this platform, each one teach one, we make each other sharp. This is like sparring, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I definitely appreciate you having on. And as I build and you continue to build, we're gonna reciprocate and definitely continue. Everybody follow me. I'm on IG, Twitter. We're in the championship rounds, ladies and gentlemen. We out of here.
All right, peace. Remember, send me the link too, because I'm gonna post a little bit.
I got you.
Okay. All right. See you.
Salute.
All right. Bye-bye.